All right, from the conference area, Park MGM. Told you this video was coming. Specific players, not player types, specific players I really enjoyed having at the table, dealing to this summer. Kick it off with the first one, the guy who was announcing every action. Thank you. It made things so much clearer. So this was fairly early in the tournament. I pushed into this table, and you know, early in the tournament, people are using exact change. They have their 100 chips, they have their 500 chips. Blinds start at 100, 200, so they're using those low denomination chips. And if they're losing a lot of these small early pots, they don't have those chips. So sometimes you see players just down to their like 1K chips and their 5K chips, and blinds are still 100, 200. You could ask someone at the table for change, but some people don't do that. So if it's like, say, 400 to go in the big blind, and you throw out a 5K chip, well, there's no debate. What you've done is call. If you didn't announce anything, you've called. Still, even though I'm aware this is a call, and I call it a call, other players are like confused. Like, why wouldn't you use a 1K? Why aren't you putting out 4 100 chips? Not realizing the guy doesn't have them. So it's just so much clearer if you announce every action when you're in this scenario, and this guy was. It would be like 400 to go. Before coming close to throwing out a 1,000 chip, he would say, call 400, and then place the 1,000 chip out there. It would be like 400 to go. He would want to raise, but only have 5K chips. He would say, raise 1,200, and put the 5K chip out there. Every single action was verbal. It wasn't just clear for me. It was clear for all the other players. Players didn't have to ask me, was that a call? Was that a raise? Especially players with headphones who don't understand that if you're not listening to things, things might get confusing. It was so clear. Every single action he made, it was loud, it was clear, and of course, verbal. It was unbelievable having that guy at the table. It was a very, very smooth half hour at that table, and I'm sure it made every other dealer who dealt that table while he was low on low denomination chips, it made their down a lot easier. So thanks to that guy. Second favorite player from the summer, guy was in one of the mixed game events. He threw out what a lot of people probably say was like mistakenly the wrong amount of chips, but I'm not there to guess intent, so it looked like he meant to call, but he threw out enough chips that it was a raise. I called it a raise, and he did not get mad at me for 1 second, which a lot of people do when they're in that scenario. I mentioned a guy in an earlier video weeks ago, and he made it seem like it was my life's intention to destroy his world, even though it was not my fault that he didn't look at what chips were in his hand before he threw them across the line. This other guy threw out enough chips for a raise. I said it was a raise. He got really mad at me, decided to slow roll someone after that, decided to like change seats almost in a tournament, which isn't a thing, to get away from me. It's not my fault that he threw out the wrong amount of chips. But this guy I'm talking about, he threw out some chips. I said 2 bets. It looked like he wanted to only call the 1 bet, but he said, all right, yeah, I threw those chips out. He told the other players in the hand, not trying to angle. I meant to throw out enough chips for 1 bet, but I threw out too many. This is 2 bets, and that was the end of it. So thanks to that guy for understanding he mishandled his chips. I wasn't there to destroy his universe. All right, third one. So I sat down at one table at Orleans this summer, and you know, I put my stick, my rake, right on the table, and this guy says in a pirate voice, "Thar be a fine hook," and kind of threw me because I'm almost never expecting someone to talk like a pirate. And I was thinking, like, is he like the guy in the movie Dodgeball who just talks like a pirate for fun? Is that just his voice normally? Is he from like Northwest Europe and that's like kind of his accent? Like, what's going on here? So I waited for him to say anything else to see what that was. As awesome as it was, I needed more information. He did not say one other word while I was at the table. In his defense, it was only about half a down. I dealt about 15 minutes, 20 minutes at that table, and then they went on break. And then when they came back from break, I was on another table. So I didn't have like a full 30 minutes to observe. But he didn't say one other thing. He didn't say, I have a straight. How much? Raise. He did not say one other word, and I will forever be wondering what that was all about. But that was awesome. Whether or not that's his normal voice or whatever. To get the pirate lingo in the pirate voice as soon as I sat before I dealt the first hand was pretty awesome. That guy made the list. Alright, and the last one, as long as I'm here with no music playing, the guy who I called him Unbridled Enthusiasm in my head. So he was playing a mixed game tournament, I don't remember which one. The guy next, I had never seen him before. Had never seen him before. The guy next to him, I've seen a lot this year, a lot in the tournaments, see him in the cash game area, sometimes saw him a lot last year. So the guy next to him, they were like in the middle of a conversation when I got there, but the guy next to him is telling him about all the mixed games Orleans runs. So like, yeah, the cash games and the tournaments, and even the tournaments, you know, not during the summer. I think it's 6 days a week. Orleans has a no limit hold'em tournament, and the guy's like so excited. He seemed like someone who has played poker for a while, prefers the no limit hold'em games, but like either new to Vegas or new to Orleans, didn't know there's so many no limit games running at Orleans. So at first the guy was just excited to play that tournament he was in. Then he's hearing about the cash games. Then he's hearing about all the specific tournaments that get run during the series and non during the series. At one point, you know, the knowledgeable guy says like, yeah, sometimes like they run a horse tournament. Guys, really, horse? And the guy goes, sometimes it's like torse. You know, they take out the hold'em and they add in deuce to 7 triple draw for the T, torse. He's like, that's so cool. He goes, sometimes it's rose. It's you just take out the hold'em, don't sub in anything for the horse. You played the other 4 games. It's like, that's awesome also. I've never played that before. And then the guy goes, sometimes it's toe, just the triple draw, Omaha 8, and stud 8, just those 3 games. And every time the knowledgeable guy says one more thing, the other guy gets like more and more excited. He's like, really? 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 That's so cool. He just keeps saying this over and over. And then finally, when the other guy was done listing every type of mixed game Orleans offers, the other guy just like sits back and says, what a fun place to play poker, which I've never heard someone say that genuinely. I've heard people say that sarcastically, and there are people who are just there every day who probably think it but don't express it. I never heard someone express it explicitly, genuinely, with that type of unbridled enthusiasm. So that guy definitely made the list. I only saw that guy that one day. I hope to see him more. I didn't. I hope to see him more in the winter or next year. That guy was great. So there you go. My 4 favorite people at the tables this summer, between day 1 and day 52 of the Orleans Summer Series. Glad you enjoyed the video. If you want more free poker content and or print poker content as opposed to audio visual, feel free to go to my Patreon page, sign up as a free member, and you will see every free Monday post on my Patreon page. Here's how to do it. Any video of mine that you're watching, below the video you will see this gray box. It has some information, how many views the video has. It has when the video was published. It has some hashtags. If you scroll down a little, this is all you can see of the gray box at first glance, but on the bottom right you see the word more. You could click on more. You could drop it down so that you see everything in this gray box, the description of the video, and one of the things is the link to my Patreon page. Clickable link. You could click right there on the words Vegas Poker Nomad. It will bring you to my homepage on Patreon. You could sign up to be a free member and you will see every free Monday post if you want some more poker content or if you just want some poker content in print form.